Well, there may be white sandy beaches near Miami, but it's no vacation tonight with just 3 rounds remaining until the Area Truck Series playoffs. Drivers are absolutely in the last parts of the season where they can earn themselves a win and earn their way into the playoffs of Bristol, Kansas, Iowa Auto Club, and Chicagoland. It's getting close to the end of the regular season. Kyle Heyer joined by Connor Horn tonight as we enter the Factor 180 here this evening. With the new partnership with Factor, celebrating that tonight, Connor, but 120 laps are on Homestead-Miami Speedway. This race has a tendency to go pretty green, so we'll see what is in store tonight.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see what's in store. One caution, 120-lap race last season, and in the previous season, this was our championship finale for all 3 series. James Scioli taking 2 of the 3 titles last season. He won here dominating fashion at Homestead-Miami to clinch that Truck Series title. He'll have to come from the back. The NASCAR College Series is ongoing right now, so if he's going to join, it's going to be a late join, and he's got work to do as we look at our playoff picture. Matheson and Hall and Travis Beckner leading the Miller Racing charge, and then Brad Slaughter and David Weishart in for David Weishart Racing, the 2 extra winners there. Weishart, last week's winner after drama on the final lap. Weishart snuck through, took the checkered flag. And our 6th winner, Nathan Jump, not enough starts. He won't be a part of the playoffs, so that spot opened up for Ryan Swan. But he's only in by 2 points at this time. And cut line's tight between those 2, but he's still got JT Poole, Tom Bourne, Scioli himself, 33 back. Still plenty of players with 3 races to go that can get their way up into that point total and very capable of winning are some of those guys below the cut line.
Absolutely. JT Poole and James Scioli better scare the daylights out of everybody above that cut line, because as soon, and I say as soon as one of them wins because it's almost inevitable, that will shift that cut line. The question is, will they get that win before the playoffs begin? If they don't, it's all for nothing. So there's a lot on the drivers' minds heading into the next 2 races, and if you're looking at the calendar and expecting it to go down to Talladega, you better not plan on that. Homestead and IRP are the last 2 tracks on the regular season where you can control your own destiny, Connor. So tonight and next week are critically important to make your way into the playoffs.
Yeah, you're going to absolutely need to have good finishes. If you're not capable of winning, you got to be in the top 5, top 10. Scioli, if he can't close these races out, he's going to have to finish very high up. He's almost got to be top 5s for the last 3 weeks. Wineland, Shane Wolf, Gary Waterworth, those are drivers who are probably going to need something to happen and try to win a race. There's even drivers below the top 20 that can still get in. Garrett Grant has won here in Miami before. He could get a win here tonight. Greg Mitchell, Senesac, drivers capable of making it to that Final 4, but they need to get going soon enough.
And of course, this is the Factor 180 here tonight. Looking to eat healthier in 2024, no need to fear. Factor is here. Choose from over 20 different meal options each week, including keto-friendly choices, calorie-smart meals, and vegetarian options. Factor meals are prepared with nutrients and ready to eat in 2 minutes or less, saving time so you can enjoy your day without meal prep or cleanup. You can click the link on the twitch.tv/area iRacing site to get started, or use the coupon code FACTORS E46850 to save 50% off your first box. Thanks to Factor for partnering with the Area iRacing League. And qualifying is underway. It's been slow for takers so far here, Connor. We haven't seen all but one take to the track. Everyone kind of waiting this one out here to see if the weather improves.
I don't believe it will, based on the sim time. It's about 2 p.m. As we look at that track type, it's scorching. It was actually maybe 15 degrees lower in practice, so maybe they're hoping that they're thinking that the clouds might come over the track, maybe save some of these drivers. I'm sure they're cloud watching, wind watching, everything, but for now, like you said, only Ryan Swan comes onto the track.
Yeah, just starting his lap here, so he'll be the first driver to lay down a time as he drops down here into turns 1 and 2. Now, last night in the Cup Series race, we saw people running from the white line all the way up to the fence, and we saw that for the entire race. What we didn't see a lot of was tire wear. Now, I assume that will change a bit tonight here, Connor, but with less horsepower and a bit more downforce in these cars, I'd anticipate almost flat out, but you see the wiggle there. Maybe the weather will play into that.
He'll definitely play into it a little bit. While there wasn't, weirdly, not a lot of fall off, Ryan Swan's going to spin one lap quality tonight, so that's going to be his attempt down in the bin. Jake Matheson, series point leader, comes onto the track. Point leader by 48 points, by the way, shown through his 3 wins. He's on track right now, but it was kind of weird last night as he'll go off the top of the board. No one else is putting a time down currently, but what was weird about it is that in the 40 laps I did last night, it was not falling off much time-wise, but it was, the tires were gone. I mean, you were not full throttle for a very long time until the very exit of the corners as JT Poole stuffs it in the wall. So it's kind of weird when you get tire fall off, but the times just aren't reflecting it. The track got very squirrely. You could not put the throttle down at all, and it was getting tough to really turn into the corner. It got really tight last night. So maybe these drivers will be battling similar conditions. We'll just have to see. But like you said, that lack of horsepower might save these drivers off the corner.
Yeah, I think that's something that we noted, right, was you're not losing time necessarily with the tires over the course of the run, but you're losing handling and ability. Just because the tires aren't slowing down doesn't mean they're not worth anything. I think we're just going to see a bit more balance in that regard here tonight as we make our way through. So about 5 minutes and 30 seconds left here. It's going to be busy the last couple minutes here in qualifying. That was tight for Fambro there.
We might see more sliding at this rate. I think I've seen every truck on track slide. Fambro comes across the line a little bit on the slower side, 0.2 of a second off of Jake Matheson. Is still trying to get a look at Michael Kerhan's sign. We should all do the next Battle of the Barn and race it like the #1 cart did. See who survives. Yeah, I agree. That would be a demolition derby if ever I've heard one. Did you see that clip?
I have not.
Oh, you've got to find it. Oh, Michael's going to be so upset that you didn't see that. Yep. Oh, it was funny.
Travis Beckner waiting his turn to qualify. We've got Eric Wineland as well on camera tonight, as well as JT Poole, who took one shot, and there, as we just finished that, he has just come across the stripe, and he'll put it in the fence. It's good enough for second out of the 5 trucks that have laid down a time so far. But again, slow takers, but they're running out of time. They got to get on track eventually if they want to have a shot at qualifying at least.
Sent that clip to you if you want to see it. That's what Kerhan's referred to. It was hilarious. But yeah, that's how JT Poole ended his race last week at Michigan. It was after the line at least, but obviously a chaotic finish to that. It kind of claimed him there as go to Bobby Tinch, one of the runners in this field tonight.
Oh, gosh. Ooh. Watching the clip.
Yeah. I can tell if you're watching Bobby Weaver now, but yes, that clip is hard to believe as Bobby Tinch comes across the line. I don't know if that's to start or end his lap, but it looks like it's to start his lap. Higher line.
Travis Beckner is working his way up to speed as well. And he was a force to be reckoned with last night and was almost in position to win, but slipped back right at the very end. So we know that skill's going to translate pretty well to the truck, so we'll see how he does tonight. Right up against the fence there. Out of turn 4, carrying good speed onto the start of this lap.
Important and very tough to carry the speed correctly, and surprisingly he's going to go to the top for his fast lap. I've seen this work in the past. We'll see if it works tonight. Looks like that turns 1 and 2 area is getting shaded just a little bit.
Focus on his face. He's so intense when he gets up on the wheel here. It's so fun to watch. And again, he's probably going to go to the bottom in 3 and 4. Tell me, Connor, as of late, it feels like the top in 3 and 4 is a lot trickier to get to work than the top in 1 and 2. Big wiggle there.
Yeah, it's just not the same as it is in 1 and 2. Turns 1 and 2, the radius just feels more correct as he loves that lap. He's going to go, where's he going to go on the timesheet? Yeah, he goes pole by at least 400th over teammate Jake Matheson. He loved that lap. But 1 and 2 is not the same as 3 and 4. It really does look like it from the naked eye, but they're just not the same. Turns 1 and 2 can carry a little bit more speed, but the middle of 3 and 4 is just a little bit sharper, I think, and that's why that top line doesn't really work, because really in the middle of the corner you have to turn it down harder, and you just don't get as good of a run out of turn 4 as you would out of turn number 2. So it's weird how both ends look so similar, but they still drive a little bit differently. As look at Sam Fontaine going to the top of the board, and
Travis threw the camera down there as he got his lap time pipped there by a 1/10 of a second. We got to go back and watch this lap. How did he get that?
He's been a great qualifier this season. He really has been.
Go back and watch this from the start of the lap and tell me what you see.
We'll have to see.
Mason Kane just went faster than him even, and Kerhan.
That looks like that track time's down to 1:19.
Oh,
it has gone down
10 degrees.
It's at least 8 to 10 degrees. Yeah, Mason Kane went 33.804, but
That's all it was.
Fontaine did go to the bottom, so maybe the top lane wasn't the way to go in 1 and 2. So you can see how big of a difference. We last looked at it was 127. That's already 9 degrees down. It's getting lower, so I don't think we're done seeing pole times go up. Garrett Grant just went second. Danny Ware's into the 5th position, and let's see Eric Wineland a little bit further down. He just started his lap. He's running the very middle.
Weishart's coming to finish his, and Bryce Senesac goes second quick. So all those trucks waiting around to make their qualifying effort seems incredibly justified. I've never seen the temperature drop that fast, that consistently, and certainly not with a delta that big.
Yeah, it's honestly surprising, but I think everyone just caught the clouds at a good time because I'm not sure if it's going to go down anymore.
Top of the board.
Weishart, he goes pole, and he's on a heater. He gets into the 7s.
That is crazy quick for Weishart. Wineland goes 10th. Greg Mitchell was working his way out of 4.
30 drivers in tonight, so qualifying is going to be a little important, but maybe not too important. Greg Mitchell goes 14th on the board. I can't tell. It might be a new scheme as well. I don't remember seeing that much black on the number 2 truck.
Half a dozen trucks are not going to put in a qualifying effort. Lacatus will be the last one to do so. Big wiggle there in 3 and 4. It's still slippery on that end of the track. Big slide.
Yikes.
That'll throw away that lap for Lacatus there, unfortunately.
Gonna slow it down. Gonna be at the back of the pack, but like you said, a few drivers not putting down times because the majority of them are not in the field. Actually, the only driver not in the sim is Scioli. Like we said, he is finishing the College Series race. I don't remember where they are, but that's gonna run a little late. So we'll go through the entire 5-minute warm-up to see if we can get mainly him in. I'm not sure if there's anyone else getting ready to get into the session for the Factor 180, but he's one of the 5 drivers who didn't put time down, including Balliet, Slaughter, Caps, and Ryan Swan, who Swan made a mistake.
Yeah, that's the idea of this warm-up time is to use in instances like this or server issues or things of the sort. So we'll use all 5 minutes and give those drivers the opportunity to get into the race. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise, all at the price of just $5 a month. That's twitch.tv/Area iRacing. So going back to the point standings here, Connor, we've got a couple of races left to go until we get to the playoff section, but Talladega is a crapshoot. But as we look at tonight, who is the driver on this list that has the most potential to win this race? And then the next week, we've got Indianapolis coming up. Who's going to win there at IRP?
I think this week it's hard to not look at Jake Matheson. He dominated last night. No one could really have a shot at him. Even on older tires, he was able to hold on to a pretty sizable lead near the end of that race. So it's hard not to look to the direction of the 52 tonight. IRP is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little harder to separate yourselves from the rest of the field. But we did see JT Poole kind of dominate in this series for his first career aerial win. Last season, he dominated IRP, and we're going back there. Last season, he wasn't eligible for the playoffs, but this season, he's really he might need this one, I would think, to get into the playoffs. Extremely fast there, but it's going to be tough to pass there for sure, as we've always seen at IRP. We'll just have to wait and see who can. If he can outrun Matheson there, that shows him he can be a big title contender. But it's gonna be hard to outrun Jake Matheson. It is every week.
Been a while since we've done the Travis Beckner tease. Someone was saying we should get a look at his diecast collection. From what I can tell, it looks like there's some Hot Wheels up there.
Need a higher quality camera.
Yeah, need to scale it up a little bit.
There's not really high quality webcams unless you just get a straight up camera.
I wish I could zoom in. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh God! Don't stare at me like that. Trying to get a look at the College Series race. Apparently the College Series is at Michigan. They wrecked under the green-white checkered. So James Scioli is going to have a tough time getting in.
Here we go. Here's a look at the diecast collection. See some Chase
Dale
Elliott
Jr.
up
number
there.
7.
Holy God!
Dale Jr. number 70.
Porsche.
Brandon.
Porsche stuff.
That's just one of the Yates 28s. I don't remember Dale Jr. driving a 7, but it looks like Dale Jr. driving a 7.
He's going to get us something here. This is a good way to burn 5 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Got nothing else to talk about prior to this race. We've already laid out the point situation for you. Joshua Balliet running laps by his lonesome here. Here we go. What we got? It's a race win.
Here?
I used to, every time we go to Watkins Glen, we go to the vendor village down there in the town and get some diecast. There you go, Ross Chastain Melon Man truck.
Ross.
That's nice looking. I don't have a truck diecast, unfortunately.
I do. I have another niece truck. It's Larson's from Bristol when he ran it in the truck series. Didn't run well on it, but you know, Larson diecast. They're all in my closet though. I don't have them for show. Well, actually, I do have one Larson diecast in a case to the left of my monitor.
Jake Matheson not paying as close attention as Travis was a moment ago. See if Curhan's got his eyes on this guy. The guys running triples don't typically have screens available to watch.
No.
There's the wave from Michael. He's keeping an eye on things. And, of course, Eric Wineland as well, getting set up, always giving us a poke behind the scenes here tonight.
See what he can do. Decent qualifying run for him as well, but always seems like Sam Fontaine qualifies extremely well.
What have I done?
I don't know. What did you do?
I did it to myself. I messed up Zoom. I don't know how to get it back.
Oh, gosh.
There we go.
Doesn't look like we have anything else to do for the next 45 seconds.
What is he pointing at? Him? Oh, wait.
Oh, you pinned yourself. That's what you probably
that?
did. I don't know, but you got to unpin it. It should be pretty much the same thing you did do. I'm not in Zoom tonight, so I can't exactly help you.
Oh, I broke it.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no. Hold on. Hold that thought. See? It's gone.
There you go. Well, I mean, that looks okay.
I just need to leave. Sign him that.
You know, the eNASCAR stream is showing the eNASCAR College iRacing Series points, and James Scioli is 13th in points. And that, it's actually higher in College Series points than he is Truck Series points right now.
There we go.
That is Michael.
I think we're supposed to show something Travis had. I think is what Eric is.
Well, you broke it, so now we get to him. I think he's trying to tell you what to go to, but
who am I supposed to go to? I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know. Go to Travis.
I was on Travis.
No. Yeah, so Scioli, this is going to be tough for him. He's going to start probably laps down if he gets in because the College Series is running long into green, white, checkered, so this is going to be tough for him.
Well, it's going to be a tough night, but it's got still some time to get here. Race fans, be sure to subscribe. I already did that one. Race fans, start your engines with a fresh cup of Roasted Gems coffee. Choose from some of the finest coffee beans from Colombia and Peru, or try the blended flavors of French vanilla and hazelnut. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at checkout at roastedgems.com. Let's run through the starting lineup here. Kicking things off on pole late in the session, David Weishart went to the top. He'll start alongside Mason Kane in the 31.
And then row number 2, a little bit of a surprising row 2. Bryce Senesac in his Tundra. He's going to start 3rd. Garrett Grant, former winner here, he'll start 4th.
In row number 3, it's Michael Curhan in the 24. Sam Fontaine starts 6th in the 71.
7th place is Shane Therian, number 38 truck. He'll start alongside the 49 Silverado. That's Danny Ware.
9th place, Travis Beckner in the 28. Was close to getting one done last night. We'll have to try again tonight. Eric Wineland starts 10th in the 21 truck.
One thing we didn't note, Jake Matheson went out very early. Did not really work for him. He's going to start down in 11th. A little work to do for Matheson as well as for his teammate JT Poole in 12th.
Jacob Bell starts 13th in the number 77. Greg Mitchell starts 14th in the number 2 truck.
Bronson Stafford in the 15th position. They just wrecked on another green, white, checkered in the College Series.
Gosh.
We're waiting for Scioli, unless they don't have any more. I'll look on that. But either way, Bronson Stafford 15th, Josiana Sogak 16th.
17th place, it's Tom Bourne in the 16 truck, still on the outside looking in for the playoffs. James Shanewolf starts 18th in the 01.
Ryan Nowicki, a staple in the area series currently, starting 19th tonight. Very close on time with the 12 of Gary Waterworth, who's still in the hunt for a playoff position.
And Colin Fambro starts 21st in the number 18 truck. Bobby Tinch, 22nd in the 66.
23rd position goes to Sean Peach in the number 69 truck. 24th, second to last driver on time, Jason Dalton, the 02.
And behind them, it's going to be the 50 truck of Casey Lakatos in 25th. Joshua Balliet starts 26th in the 07.
James Scioli would have started 27th. He likely won't be able to start this one on the lead lap if he starts at all. Brad Slaughter Jr. is actually starting in that position either way, and I believe that's Adam Capps to his outside.
It would be, and Ryan Swan will bring up the tail of the grid here tonight. Everyone burning up as much time as they can on the grid as well to try to preserve time for the 7, but it will not work Have another look at the weather. 125 again. It's up into the high 120s. See how much that will change throughout the evening here. But cars climbing up.
Oh my goodness!
What's going on?
Sorry, I'm trying to just look at the college here at the same time. Someone grip rolled in the grass.
Oh
Jeez.
gosh.
That was a hellacious crash. Oh, we don't see that tonight. But either way,
pick me a winner. Who wins this thing?
not James Scioli.
Oh, that's easy.
That's my pick. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why Weishart's on the pole. It's just hard to bet against Jake Matheson. He's so fast. I think the only reason he's not on pole is because he qualified a little too early. I'm still taking the 52.
I'm going to go with the 28 of Travis Beckner. I think his performance last night was really good. I think if he can keep the right rear on the thing at the end, he'll be one to watch. And the aggression paired with a bit of a slower pace tonight and maybe a truck that isn't quite so on edge, I think that might be the recipe for success tonight. Mason Kane also a good pick up there on the front row, but we'll see if he can finish one out. He hasn't been able to quite yet. Time to bring us to the green flag here in the Factor 180 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Green flag flies and we're racing in southeastern Florida. Kane drag races Weishart into turn one. Long way around versus the short way. Weishart takes the lead.
Already sliding.
Oh, don't throw my pick out that early. It's lap one.
He saved it, but he's going to lose all that track position. Homestead's always like that. You have the least amount of grip in 1 and 2 at Homestead-Miami on a restart on cold tires. It never fails here. This track only, it's the worst, and that's obvious. That's got to be what caught Beckner out. Now he's got to keep the tires in a better window, and now he's got all that ground to make up. But Weishart leads lap 1 anyways. Bryce
Senesac in the 09 off to a very handy start here. Took a look at Garrett Grant. We didn't really mention the 5 a whole lot.
Oh, big crash. I can't tell who's in the wall.
Jason
Dalton.
Jason
Dalton and Balliet, I think, came together. That was a big hit. Still green.
Now we'll stay green, but here's a look at it.
Oh, that was with Beckner.
What happened there? He might have gotten right reared from, was that Peachin behind him? Another look.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
Oh,
they just tangled.
Like,
oh, gosh.
It looked like, yeah, him and Dalton are both pitting. It looked like Dalton just checked up for the corner earlier than what Beckner was thinking, and there was no reaction time to be had. It just couldn't react in time. And gosh, that 07 took a hit.
Yeah, that was a big, big impact there. That will likely put him by the wayside. And with no yellow, that might be end of the night for Balliet and potentially Dalton as they're both down on pit lane. So battle for 6th here. Sam Fontaine grabs it. Shane Therian drops a spot. Danny Ware on the bottom of the 49 looking to move forward a place or two.
Therian wiggled a little bit. Fontaine wiggled a little bit, but still got the spot anyways as the top 6 single file out. Now Ware under Therian. Almost 3 wide. They are 3 wide. Mitchell Wineland and Jacob Bell. Plenty of room for it, but tough to make it work when everyone's really sideways off the corner, but you got the room for it. This will benefit Bell, I would think, as Mitchell's going to be the loser on the bottom.
He'll tuck back in line just ahead of 01 of Shane Wolf. Look at the 88 of Anasogak testing the waters up by the outside fence. There was a lot of speed there last night in the Cup Series, Connor, but is it going to be quite as effective in the Truck Series side of things?
I think 1 and 2 on the short run will still be effective. I'm just not sure if we'll see it last quite as long as we ended up seeing it last night. Maybe a little bit hotter than it was last night in this session, though, so that could reap benefits for that top line. I just don't think you'll see it much in 3 and 4. Like we talked about, 1 and 2 is really where you're going to use that line.
Bill works their way through 3 and 4 once again. Lap 5 complete. Anasogak still testing the waters up top. Jacob Bell's there as well. But Weishart leads by 0.4 of a second over Mason Kane and Garrett Grant.
Pulling away, Kane kind of letting him go, I would think, but we haven't seen the best tire saving from Mason Kane this season. Also not the best internet, but that's besides the point, because he blinked a little bit there on my end. But Garrett Grant keeping it down in that 3rd position. No battles at the front. Everyone just kind of trying to mind their own and keep the tires on it. First battle is really just Anasogak, and he's not even really in a battle. He's just the first one testing that high lane right now in 3 and 4. Got a decent run.
Shane Wolf, you see that thing walk up the hill? That thing
went
went
incredibly tight.
3 lanes up there out of turn 4.
Yeah, I'm trying to still watch the college race at the same time. They're wrecking to the line, so we should see Scioli in at some point. I think he finished 7th or 8th, so good for him. But
it's at
much cleaner
point,
here.
I mean, 7 laps in, you'd be minimum 15 down. Is there much point at all? Is the question.
Just any positions you can get. Dalton and Balliet not getting back on track yet, so gotta hope for attrition at this point. Oh, Grant just had a big wiggle from 3rd. You get wiggles like that, you might see the attrition rate pick up, but he got sideways.
Now, I imagine as the tires burn up, as you pointed out last night, they would just get treacherous after a while. Already, we're seeing half of the lap time loss that we did in the Cup Series last night. 4/10 down off our best times, 8 laps into the race. We were only 7/10 down after 40 laps on track in the Cup Series race last night.
Yeah, and it was kind of weird just driving that first run after parking it. It felt like I was falling off much worse, but every time I would look at the times compared to my best, I was still only 4/10 off or so after around 40 laps. So it was just really weird to see, but definitely looks like we're going to get a completely different type of race as far as those tires are concerned, because that fall-off's already pretty big. Weishart's already, like you said, he's down almost 6/10 in under 10 laps. So very different race tire-wise, and it might be a different race strategy-wise as well, because I don't think we're going to be able to have a one-stop be a possibility. I think there was going to be drivers trying it last night if it went green to lap 70. We're not going to be close enough today, so we should see some pretty early pit stops as James Scioli does roll off of pit lane.
Yeah, he was in there pretty quick, actually, but 9 laps
he had
down.
It ready.
Yeah, he did. He's going to go 9 laps down this time through and have to salvage what he can. And maybe, if he plays his cards right, he could get a whole bunch of free passes. But 10 laps without a yellow, who knows what this night holds.
We'll just have to see if he gets beaten and banging like Fambro and Bronson Stafford did for 19th. Maybe he'll get those yellows. They banged doors in turn 3, and they weren't happy with each other, and they're still side by side for that spot as Scioli comes on track. At least the one benefit of this, he'll have fresh tires to get through those guys, at least get 1 lap back, hopefully. As he just passed Travis Beckner. It's the first clean pass he's made on that 28 in a while, I think.
Stafford had a big slide there out of 4. John Peachin will pull to the inside. Brad Slaughter Jr., remember he started it at the tail as well, 28th. And also trying the high groove. Maybe see if there's speed up here to be had. Now, to note, Hannah Sogak is up from 16th to 10th, and he's mostly been using the high line to get there.
You're not going to go anywhere just running the bottom. If you want to try getting to the front, you'll be on that top line just trying stuff out, while the guys on the bottom just trying to conserve their stuff for the long haul. Wineland and Bell had a big slide. Now there goes Shane Wolf. You think it's raining, but how slick it is. But nope, not yet. Sunset goes by Curhan.
What I can tell, Dalton and Balliet seem to just be out for the night, so that's 2 spots that Scioli's already gained.
Dalton is definitely out of the session. Balliet might try to get back out. Oh, Shane Wolf in the wall.
Everybody scatters. Bourne going to go on by. And there's that 7 right in the middle of all of it.
Yeah, fresh enough tires where maybe he gets to 8 down, but he would need a well-timed yellow. As Bourne almost slid up back in front of the 0-1. As you can see how much it's spreading out, even with, I wouldn't say a small field, but it's probably one of the smallest of the season. We got 27 trucks on the lead lap, all separated by 12 seconds already.
Michael Curhan on the lookout to grab a spot here from Bryce Senesac, who started up in the 2nd row. Curhan looks to move forward, and it's Bronson Stafford in the 61, around at what looks like be the exit of turn 2.
And Bronson sounded upset on the radio, but the majority of people are telling him that he's been pinching people. So, him and Brad Slaughter had contact.
Yeah, Lakatos did a great job to slow down to avoid that.
Well, that is a lucky dog for the 7. So that's 1, but we'll see. Didn't really see how this started. 8's running his line. Yeah, 61 just kind of comes down
there a little bit, yeah.
Slightest bit. And usually the white line, you usually want to be on the seam, not exactly the white line.
This
Brad Slaughter ran that
seam. Those tracks that you don't want to be right against the white line. But I always look at these as how much racetrack is below you and how much racetrack is above you, and do you really need to be down on the door? And
well, that's what we were kind of seeing. He had the contact with Fambro, and to my view, it looked like Colin had the line that Slaughter pretty much had, and at that time it bit Bronson Stafford, and I'm sure he'll see otherwise as majority of the field comes down. Mason Kane does not, surprisingly, but almost everyone else does.
That
I don't know.
Is perplexing.
It's going to be tough. Get 4 extra sets tonight. Just trying to save one.
Maybe he thought that Moore would do what he was doing. But I don't like getting back in traffic. I mean, because he's going to get run over on the restart. I don't like being back in traffic without a really good understanding of how this race is going to go, because I could get stuck back in 15th and then in a wreck, and then whatever strategy I'm playing doesn't matter anyway. So I'd be pretty conservative here at the start of the race until I know how it's going to feel.
Weishart, Grant, Curhan, Senesac, Matheson, the first 5 out. Matheson got up pretty far initially, but he actually crossed the line 8th, so he actually gained 3 spots on pit road from my count. Besides Casey Lakatos just rolling through, trying to get his lap led. Mason Kane might steal it from him, but it is definitely surprising. Mason Kane's definitely in a rough spot because there's nowhere to go but backwards at this point, especially if we got a green flag run. I don't think, if we get a pretty long run, this is going to be really rough for him. What he needs is maybe 10 laps and then pit, then have a tire advantage going for a majority of the field. But yeah, he definitely got caught out a little bit as Scioli gets back to 8 laps down. I'm sure he was wishing that would happen maybe 10 laps from now so he could be 7 down instead. But, baby steps up to 28th position, but definitely not looking good points-wise. This is, if he doesn't get extremely lucky to get those 8 lucky dogs, he's going to need a win in the next 2 weeks for sure.
Already looking like it might require that regardless, but Bronson Stafford was not ruled at fault. It was ruled a netcode incident there. Maybe, I mean, they definitely made contact, and I think I don't know that netcode caused it. I think the subsequent spin and the severity of the accident maybe could be attributed to netcode, and that's maybe why they didn't pin it on anybody in particular.
Yeah, I guess they figured that he wouldn't have spun if it wasn't for netcode. And looking back at it, they rubbed doors, and then the 61 kind of shot up the track in a very unrealistic motion. So, like you said, I think the severity was caused by netcode. I don't think the actual incident was caused by it.
Right. But
definitely got the wrong end of a stick. But either way, thankfully, at least with the netcode, there was no damage to either truck.
They will live to see another day and on the lead lap. So typically Casey Lakatos will roll through pit lane and then come back down pit road. See if he's going to do that this time. Yes, he will. So that will leave Kane as the lone driver. Would be out here on 16-lap old tires.
I always forget that you can pit from out of 4 now. I remember the longest time they didn't have that as like an actual track option. You always had to use the access road. But now, thankfully, they have at least normal oval and IndyCar oval. But I always forget that when I see someone doing it. I was like, wait, that's not legal.
Yeah, it actually looks weird because I'm so used to seeing drivers on. And actually, the 05 of Caps, when he came to pit lane right at the top of the yellow, he was on the access road there. Maybe didn't know that he didn't have to do it.
Yeah, it basically used to be the commit line. I remember one of the final, at that time, the Peak Antifreeze Series finale when it was at Miami. I remember it was almost a guessing game between Ray Alfala and Michael Luza for the title, and Alfala was the first one to, I believe, pit, and it was the most crazy pit entrance I've ever seen at Miami because he had to use the access road, and he flung that thing through there, and it somehow stuck, and he got obviously the undercut to get the track position, and then he just held him off under green to win that race. That was so crazy to watch on Twitch when that happened because that pit entry was crazy.
Time to get back to the restart here. Lap 18 will be the lap we restart on, 18 of 120. Mason Kane is the control truck in that Huckett Films car on the inside. David Weishart was the leader of the entirety of the first run. He will restart on the outside lane. Green flag, and the 31 got going with a wiggle.
Yeah, really spun him, but he still got a decent enough jump. With how cold the tires are on 1 and 2, maybe he keeps it out of turn 2? Looks like he will, but I wouldn't know about turn 3 and 4, though. Garrett Grant might get second here from Weishart.
Wiggle there, heading down the backstretch. Grant showing some speed here early in the going, both in qualifying and the first 15-20 laps of this race.
Mason Kane's already lasted longer up front than what I thought he would, but not going to last much longer. Weishart got the run to the outside. Mason Kane just does not have the grip to do that. At the line, Mason Kane did lead that last lap, but Weishart will likely lead the next.
Yeah, and maybe some after that as well, as Jake Matheson's going to try to find a way around him now. And we're going to be 3 abreast down the backstretch, I think, here. And yes, we will be 3 wide.
This is going to be tough for Mason to handle. Curhan goes top to bottom just to avoid the 31 and avoid being stuck behind him. Now Grant, Matheson split them. They'll still be side by side for second as they're all trying to get around the 31. Now Sam Fontaine's going to be trapped.
Yeah, but again, saving that critical set of tires. Should we get a handful of yellows equally spaced out tonight, that could be critical. The 88 of Minnesogak on the high side, he doesn't have anywhere to go. He's going to have to lift and look at all the, well, he's going to save that run because of the outside lane, but he did not go forward as quickly as he went into the corner going.
Yeah, definitely not. As 71's still going to have to try to find a way around. It looks like Tom Bourne's going to come to pit road.
We're going to do 4. Oops, slip and slide for the 16. He's out of control, and he will miss it. All the while, we are 4 wide, or we were 4 for this position. We've gone down to 3 now with the 31 up top.
Tom Bourne was pitting for whatever reason. Didn't see if he had a penalty or not, but Greg Mitchell did not get the memo, got into him, but he did save it. And he's lost a lot of track position. He'll have to pit next time by. That's going to hurt Scioli's progress. Therian's going to go 3 wide to the middle. Fontaine's going to pinch him down hard.
That was tight, going off into 3 there, and good on the 38 for recognizing that hole was going to close. Slide for Danny Ware out of turn 4, 3 wide.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid Kane. Now him and Fontaine door each other. Now they're 3 wide, stuck behind the 31. We might see 4 wide in a moment here. Weiland's looking, he wants it, but it's only going to be, I guess, technically 3, because Fontaine and Ware clear. Ooh, Fontaine got the squeeze, though. Oh, big hit in the back. I think that was Ryan Nowicki, and they're crashing down the backstretch.
And we are still green. It's Greg Mitchell turned around. He's going to roll onto the track. And we are still green. And we might stay that way.
74 is totaled. Mitchell's got pretty big damage as well.
Let's go back. It actually started up the road with, no, it was between these two. Two's going to, the 74 gets loose and then slams the outside wall. And then look at the 7 of Scioli dodging that. Made it out alive, and we stay green.
Yeah, I'm sure Mitchell will not be happy that did not produce any sort of yellow. Either way, we do stay green. Nowicki destroyed. Tom Bourne, after coming down pit road for whatever reason, he comes out. Got more. It looked like someone maybe hit the wall out of 4, but they kept it straight. That might have been Mason Kane. He is struggling, and exactly how I thought would happen, he's gone very backwards.
And Scioli is now not the first truck 1 lap down. It's the 3rd one, although Nowicki's in pit lane, so that should shift to just be Tom Bourne that Scioli will have to hunt down, because we're not going to get, well, in theory, we wouldn't get as many as 8 yellows where Scioli happens to be the 3-pass truck, but he's going to have to hope, because that's the only way he's going to get back to the lead lap easily.
And meanwhile, David Weishart's still looking very dominant. No one's been close to him all race. Matheson got the 2nd, but 33 still out to an 8/10 of a second lead as they go all over the track battling for position. Jacob Bell is basically on the wall trying to get to the outside of Bryce Senesac. Senesac was about 3rd or 4th, but he's fallen back to 7th in this string of green flag run. Just trying to hold off the 26 and the 77.
26 of JT Poole up into 7th after starting this race in 12th. Mason Kane's down to 20th place after pulling that tire strategy, all in the hopes of saving a set of tires for later in this race. Sogak and Matheson battling for 2nd, about a 2nd behind David Weishart.
And Mason Kane's times are about 7/10 of a second off race leader David Weishart. So it is going to be a struggle until they even out and maybe get the green flag stops, because I don't think he's going to save a set doing this, unfortunately. But everyone else will take that. It's an extra position for pretty much everyone who was behind him, as it seems like everyone's to the bottom. Minnesogak still on that top. Like we said, he got to that 2nd position. We'll see what he can do. Maybe he can chase down the 33.
It's Michael Curran to the inside of Garrett Grant. And the 5's had a pretty good run so far tonight. And JT Poole up another spot since we last checked in, and gaining some more.
It's very packed up 5th on back. Go Curran the 5th, and then Travis Beckner, who's recovered the 12th after his lap 1 slide. It's pretty packed up from 5th to 12th right now.
Ooh, look at this.
Yeah.
Sam Fontaine ripping the outside lane here on the 77 of Bell. And Travis Beckner, you just pointed out, after starting in 9th, dropped back early with an early slide, and here he is knocking the door of another top 10.
Ryan Nowicki is back on track, so that will once again hamper Scioli's lucky dog efforts. Just put him in 28 for the time being, as that's 88 is starting to chase down to 33. We'll see if that progress slows or not, as JT Poole's progress is still very rampant. He's going under the 5 of Garrett Grant.
Has some overlap here. Senesac's kind of following him through, looks like at the moment. And look at the 28 in the background. Big run, top to bottom, underneath Jacob Bell on corner exit. He's coming forward with a head of steam.
The outside of Theron into turn 1 took that position and then made that bottom move, which was pretty slick. Kind of what you have to do here. Can't get caught behind others, or else you just lose that progress. He should clear the 77, just barely out of hole. Bell will cross him over, not going to give up this top 10 spot too easily. Theron Wineland battle behind and just watches this other battle.
Watch the 28 find speed up here, though. He has just been so comfortable right up against the outside wall. He's in it a little bit, but it doesn't seem to worry him. And I think also with the new damage model, you can be more aggressive with those wall impacts than you used to be. The 49's going to come down the racetrack and pinch the 28 down. That was very tight, and Beckner had to bail out.
Not even sure if Danny Ware thought he was going to be down there for position, but either way, it worked. Nowicki, slower car, gives way to the lead pack, as now Fontaine and Beckner maybe made a little contact there, but they keep it straight. Beckner's still trying to maintain this progress and momentum he has, but kind of stuck here for a little while as Senesac, JT Poole pull away. As that battle between Grant and JT Poole still goes on.
Grant did a nice job here. Middle of the road down here at 1. Look at JT. He's right down on that white line. We haven't really seen a lot of drivers be able to do that consistently. And Beckner try to clear Fontaine out of turn 2. He'll slot right up ahead of the 71.
Fontaine knows that spot's not going to be gotten back for a while as Beckner gets through. Fontaine's still running a little higher than most, but not really working. He's starting to fall back. Big wiggle on the front bumper of Eric Wineland as 21 looks low. Theron looks low on the 77, who's also falling back a little bit. And Poole just cannot get by this 5 of Garrett Grant.
He's giving it everything he's got. Eric's just not making it easy for him. Toyota Chevrolet side by side down the back straightaway. Look how stoic JT is right now, just absolutely at work in the College of Racecraft here at the moment.
Thought he was going to try a slide job there. It's really the only way you can get this position, this pass done when the driver on the outside doesn't take that high line. If they just want to hold you up, they will pinch you to the bottom, exactly like Garrett Grant is doing as Beckner goes to the inside of Danny Ware. So really the only way to combat when they pinch you like that is to just slide up in front of them, but I don't think JT's willing to do that quite yet. Doesn't want to risk hurting the tires any more than he might already be doing, being pinched down there, as he'll lose more momentum. Grant will keep this spot for at least another set of corners as David Weishart's lead not coming down much anymore. Anis Ogak has kind of stayed 0.8 of a second behind. Maybe that top side starting to wear down his tires.
Oh, big crash. The 28's hard in the wall in turn 4. And got turned right into the fence and straight head on up the hill into the safer barrier.
And that was with Danny Ware. They were just battling, and Ware might have gotten away with it. 28 has not gotten away with it at all.
That thing is absolutely destroyed, and so is my pick to win the race tonight.
Oh yeah, that right front's not operational anymore. Don't know how it's going straight. What's gonna happen here?
It's on the bottom here. And just kind of drifts across the nose of the 49. And
saw that at Vegas last year. Battling with the 7 of Scioli, almost the same thing. Just kind of come together.
And we just talked about how, you know, getting pinched down there, you wouldn't necessarily run the white line, but he gets down here, and it's kind of hard if you're the 49 to sight a racing line, right? You can't really follow much when that's all happening. Can't see a lot because that 28's there, and he drifts up. The 28 does come across the nose of the 49, and I don't think Ware tried to draw that either. I mean, obviously didn't work out very well for him, so I don't know why he would have done that on purpose.
No, I don't. I mean, the best thing you do there is lift, but you never really do that because you never really think that they're going to come across you and do that.
Yeah, but I think
it seems like it happens a lot.
I mean, listen to the throttle here.
It was too late at that point. It's just a bang bang thing. You can't really do that in time because you just don't think it's going to happen, but by the time it actually does happen, it's too late. You see Beckner dives at the bottom, and then just maybe gets on the throttle too much, it doesn't stick, and that contact, it just completely, you know it's done once there's contact almost all the time.
Yeah, and then just watch also ahead here. See that green and white truck? Watch the trajectory of that truck versus Beckner. See Beckner washing just a little bit there, and pow! Boom. Second pit stops did happen, and everybody is on pit lane this time.
The EOL does go to a 28, not that it matters.
Yeah, that's salt in the wound at that point.
Insult the literal injury if that was a real crash.
Yeah.
As everyone pit, Mason Kane pit, he has an extra set. Good news, that's a good news for him. Bad news for him, he's down in 20th now, so we'll see how that works out for him later in the race. Tom Bourne, lucky dog. It looks like Skyler's just going to take a wave around and hope for a yellow to get him that lap back. So he's down 7 now.
Well, it's progress. Made up.
And he will pass the 20 to Beckner, most definitely.
Yeah, he's made up 2 laps and about 30 laps of running. So another 60 laps.
Breaking news, Case Licata's got his lap led. It's an official Sim TV race.
It sure is. He's done that for years.
Oh, it's his thing. That is pretty much his thing. I don't know anyone else who's done that.
I mean, I've seen it happen before, but not consistently in almost every single race.
What would this be, like 6 years?
Yeah. Is it getting humid out here? Yes. Its humidity's up 60%. Track temp is coming down, though.
Yes. Track's completely shaded right now, actually, so that track temp is going to come down big time for this restart at a good time as Balliet and the 7 of Skyoli take the wave. Didn't notice the 07 was back on track. He's 12 down. Jason Dalton and most likely Travis Beckner are only retirements of the race as we get the 1 to green with Weishart, and now Jake Matheson in second. Weishart takes the top, which is a first for tonight, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. This track's wide enough that I kind of like the bottom, just because the shorter distance is usually going to prevail in 1 and 2. But provided that outside guy gets a really good restart, they could beat you into the corner. And if they do that, then you might just get beat. So that's a consideration. Before we get back to the restart here, we've had a couple looks at our Sim Wrap Market replay. Race fans, head over to simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple and easy to use, so it keeps you more focused on the racetrack. simwrapmarket.com.
Getting a 1 to green here. Yeah, Brad Slaughter Jr. is having internet issues again. I think Dawson Miller said in the iRacing chat that his ping was at 1,066 at one point in the last run. It's not getting better, so maybe he'll hold on to get a good finish right now. It's not looking good. He's blinking back there. Either way, we're going green.
That's going to be distracting for Shane Wolf here. To get the green flag, lap 38 back underway. Weishart.
Oh, he's in a wall.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he's going to have to bring it to a halt there. But Field makes it through.
That happened at Daytona to him as well. He's had bad luck with that. What does he have? He has Spectrum?
Yeah, something? Yeah, it's all Comcast garbage.
Yeah, same thing. Shane Wolf says he got a black flag. I'm sure that will be cleared.
That'll be
not much he could be doing. It's Matheson and Garrett Grant for second. Look at Justin Anasogak trying to really ride the top side on the new tires.
But it's worked.
Matheson the second.
It might need a lap or two to really charge up, but that outside lane has worked for Anasogak here tonight, and I don't anticipate that advantage going away anytime soon. Right up to the top again in 1 and 2. This is the corner I find it to be more effective. He's going to build this run. Whoa! I slid up at the exit of the corner. I was watching just behind the ticker there. Off into 3.
Move your head around the ticker. Watch that battle. As Anasogak's going to take that third back. We'll see if he takes second away from Matheson, but I think Jake wants to chase down that 33. Hasn't really had the opportunity to yet, as the 8 finally does pull off track. He might be our 3rd retirement of the night.
Another spot for the 7 also.
As the single files back out.
And Matheson being this close to the front should be a worrying trend for all those that are trying to beat him in the playoffs here. JT Poole up towards the top 5. going to pop to the outside at the exit of 4, but you don't build the run in the same way. The run really comes from the center of the corner on the high side, so if you go up high on exit, it won't do you a lot of good. Here he goes to the bottom in 1 and 2. He has been right against that lower white line. Look at how low he is.
A lot of it's because Garrett Grant will give him the lane up. He's been working him over for the last 20 laps on 2 separate runs now, and that 5's not letting him go without a fight. This is the best overlap Poole's had, and he'll have it just diving into a corner this time. So finally clear for 4th.
You're going to use the space that you're given, right?
Yeah, because if you use any more, it ends up like our last yellow.
Yeah, indeed. Third of the way through this race, lap 40, well, just past it now, 42 laps of 120. And look at Weishart, or Matheson rather, going up to defend.
He's going to defend or just getting aggressive to try to get that lead. He makes a big ground, which he is down the back straightaway. Might try to force David Weishart into running a little higher, but it's almost a mix of offense and defense because he wants to chase the 33 down, but also he probably doesn't want to give up the second position to Anna Sogak this run.
Down the front straightaway, laps clicking away.
Oh, Anna Sogak's been on a little bit of a heater lately. He's had some issues back there. Is that Bobby Tinch? He's got damage to the right front.
Adam Capps and Tom Bourne. But you see the 66 go for a slide, and yep, you're right.
Oh!
Got tagged there.
That was a big hit. We've had a lot of big hits tonight without cautions. That's just another one. That 66 is going to be really hurt.
Yeah, they all managed to keep it straight, and then there was the one on the back straightaway between Nowicki and who else was that down there in the back stretch?
That might have been, was it Tom Bourne? Could not tell.
It was this, yeah, the one that was earlier in the race. Out of 2. No, you know, typically a lot of the crashes here seem to happen in 3 and 4. Which again, I think that, as you pointed out earlier, this track on a map looks like it is the same from 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but it is not symmetrical, and it doesn't drive that way, it doesn't feel that way, and it certainly doesn't crash that way either.
No, I think it's just more slick out of 4 as well. Maybe a little bit of a flatter exit, but like I said, it just they don't race the same at all. Both ends of the tracks, kind of like Bristol. I think they look less similar on a track map, but they look identical enough to the point where people might think that they are the same, but they're definitely not. 1 and 2 is almost the same as Homestead 1 and 2. It's a bit more symmetrical. You can use that bottom line, but 3 and 4, it's almost a sharper exit out of turn 4 at Bristol, and it makes it really tough to wrap the bottom.
You know, the funny thing is at Bristol, it actually makes it easier to drive when you recognize those differences as a driver, because you can get lost really fast. So, you know, if you can drive the 2 ends of the track different, you can kind of keep a mental note of which end of the track you're on, especially when you get down to green flag pit stops and need to remember in the moment.
And that was something that drivers put in their memory bank, because the 88's still trying to maximize that top line. It's not working to get around Matheson this time. I think the 52's pushing a little bit harder, pushing to get that 33, but these 3 are far away, the best 3 right now. About 0.6 of a second from Anna Sogak to JT Poole.
I wonder how many more gallons of fuel he's going to burn from the extra distance he's running tonight. He's running the factor 200 instead of the factor 180.
Yeah, the maths there. Sure.
Usually, I think track distances are typically measured on the center line. It changes between series. Some measure the racing line, some measure the center line, but very rarely do they measure the outside lane. And it makes a difference after 120 laps.
Here we go. This is really going to be the first move of the lead. Weishart bottom. Matheson's going to try to roll that top side. 88 actually went to the bottom, but that 52 is going to get the run. We'll see how hard the 33 wants to actually defend this. That's a big run. Matheson could probably just fire it into a corner and slide up in front of him if he wants to. Not going to be willing to do so. Weishart's going to try to get that run off the top, but I think Matheson's likely going to have this.
That he will. So he'll slot ahead of David Weishart. Weishart is just going to give him a push down the straightaway. He's thinking long-term in this race. I don't think there's a point in battling at this particular moment, so maybe save some tire and plot on the tail end of the run and see what that holds in store for you. The 52 had to work pretty hard to get that lead away, or to track down the 33 in the first place. Maybe that'll burn up his stuff in the longer run.
Just have to wait and see, as Weishart for the first time really today not in control of this race. 88 continues 3rd, and then JT Poole still lingering in 4th, catching up to the 88 a little bit, but still kind of in his own world, as this field is relatively all single filed out. closest thing to a battle would be Sean Peachin and James Shanewolf. That's for 15th position. It's all happening behind Shane Theron, who's trying to hunt down Jacob Bell for the 9th position.
He can scrape the wall bit on entry to 3. He's right up against the outside and had a bit of a brush with it. There's Peachin side by side with Shane Wolf back here for 15th.
Still tracking lead lap Lucky Dog just for the 7th sake. No one's a lap down in front of him on track. Bobby Tinch pulled off, so 7 laps down, he will be in the Lucky Dog spot for the time being, but not looking very chaotic right now. As Matheson not getting away.
Yeah, Weishart's trying the upper groove now, but Matheson gained a bit that time in 3 and 4, but now watch the 33 eat up some of this time. So just as we did last night, we're rediscovering the strength of the outside lane, but it doesn't come in instantly. And the 88 in particular has been up there since the drop of the green flag and has been kind of paving the path for other drivers to get some rubber laid up there.
Yeah, Weishart just trying stuff really for the race end or the next run on fresh tires, I would think. Just kind of mapping out what his plan of attack is going to be. If you can't get the lead away on pit road, or maybe even trying to defend and trying to see what works for defense and what doesn't, seeing what the 52 does in response to him. As now we're seeing JT Poole start to get a little bit of a groove in here. He's caught the top 2. He was a second behind. Now it's just 0.6 of a second, and he's looking to the inside of Justin Sogak.
Yeah, I wonder what this does this turn us into a one-stop race now, that recent yellow?
I believe so.
I think
we can make it about 50 laps, so they pit around lap 36. Everyone should be good with a one stop to go. Curran just pulled out. He's going to look past Garrett Grant.
Eric Wineland sizing up as well. He's moving forward, that 21 is.
Garrett Grant just, he doesn't want to run that top. He's like, no, I'm taking my bottom line. Pinching everyone down, and it is working. It is very frustrating when that happens at a track like Homestead. It's almost like Richmond. It's just frustrating when you get pinched down, when you know you probably don't need to run up there. They don't need to run up there. Grant now, you can see he wants that bottom line because now he goes to the very bottom, and Curhan gets that top line to get a run. Meanwhile, JT Poole gets 3rd.
And JT just cleared Sogak here, and Justin's going to go right back to the outside, not giving up on this strategy here. Weishart's keeping Matheson very honest. He's a lot closer at this point than I would have expected him to be based on how quickly Matheson took the lead away, but Weishart has found his own pace to keep up.
Especially since Weishart kind of gave him the position. He could have went back to the bottom, chose not to when he got the run back after Matheson made the pass. So definitely just trying to work over the 52 and just see what he's doing and just kind of learn from him a little bit, I would think. But he's got to make sure he doesn't lose second because JT Poole is still faster than both of these drivers.
They both went to the bottom in 1 and 2. It looks like they're going to do the same in 3 and 4. Why is that? Why would you find speed up top and then when you get to the lead, drop right to the inside lane?
You're just not going to save tires up there. If you know that driver in front of you is not willing to run that top side, then you're just going to run the bottom regardless because that's the line you're going to use to save the tires. And you can still make up decent time doing it because the 26 is doing so. So when the bottom is almost always where you want to be to keep those tires, mainly the right front on the car or truck. So that's what both these drivers are doing. They're almost 4 wide for about 17th, by the way. James Shanewolf's on the way top. He's actually in the wall. Look at that.
Was a pretty interesting battle back here. Group of about 5 trucks between Shane Wolf back to Casey Lakatos in 21st. They're going to be 3 wide again here, almost, as Waterworth goes way up top.
Oh, someone hit the wall hard. Ryan Swan hit it pretty hard out of 4.
That is a decent size hit. Let's see.
Was out of nowhere, too. Saw this in... I saw this in qualifying. This time he overcorrected.
A sinking feeling when you catch it and it grips and you weren't expecting it to grip as hard as it did. That is a frustrating scenario. Look at JT Poole reeling in these 2 leaders.
Well, once again, last time by was the fastest truck between those top 3. Garrett Grant was actually faster than all of them, and then Michael Curhan was faster than everyone ahead of him, as they're all over the place for 17th still. As Daniel Ware going by Shane Wolf, but these top 2 still right next to each other, but we're starting to see Weishart maybe fall off just a little bit. Almost looks like Matheson can hold that bottom on exit a lot better than that 33, and JT Poole is a lot stronger off the corner.
You see the amount of tire wear we're seeing. We are almost 2 seconds off. This is triple the wear that we had last night in the Cup Series race, and that changes the outlook of this race dramatically. You get comers and goers when you're burning up stuff quickly, but the whole top 10 is kind of coming back together here later in this run as we approach halfway.
I won't say, I don't think it's really draft. I don't think that plays a lot of a factor here at other mile and a halves, but just a lot easier to be even here in a lot of the front runners just because of how little power you do have. So you don't have to be as precise on the throttle on exit of the corner. You still have to. The tires are wearing pretty significantly, but it just reduces the spread outness when you have a bunch of fast drivers. The top 22 separated by about 8 seconds. And that's just not a lot for the fall off we have right now, as now JT Poole's attacking David Weishart.
Yeah, good battles all in the top 10 here. JT's going to go to the bottom. Weishart runs up top on a defensive note here. He'll keep the foot planted to the floor, and it should re-clear JT by about the halfway point down the backstretch. Right about there, yep.
Gonna stay up there. He kind of goes cautiously to the bottom because JT's gonna fire it in a little faster. Throttled up mid-corner. That's usually where the most tire comes from. Too much throttle center off, and that's what happened. He's gonna give Poole the top this time.
He slid off the top out of 4. He was kind of walking down the hill, and JT saw the gap open and put the truck in there before David could close it back up. Crossover here.
And Weishart went back into the center of the corner, cleared him, but now Poole's got the bottom where he wants to be, and now they're blocking a little bit for about 4th or 5th. And Sogak's falling back now. Now Garrett Grant and Curran are trying to fight amongst themselves while also fighting the 88.
JT clears Weishart for second, as behind him things are getting pretty interesting there between Grant and Sogak and Curhan halfway through this race. Lap 61 of 120.
And here we'll see 3 wide. 88 struggling, so this might be tough to pull off. Grant's just gonna completely shut off Curhan's line as he, and then Sogak's in the wall. It'll make it much easier for those guys, as it seems like everyone in this pack's gonna get by. Theron gets by at the very end.
Yeah, he was kind of the cork in the bottle there, so the pressure has been relieved for a moment. He was going, quickly for a while, but wearing out tires perhaps prematurely in comparison to those running a bit more conservatively. The laps clicking away, and now let's start thinking about when that last pit stop is going to be. With 60, make it 59 laps to go, 58 laps to go. Where and when do you make your stop, especially if you're one of these front runners? How long can I go before I should hit pit lane? Leave yourself enough time on the back end to make up any time you lose from the overcut.
They pit with about 85 to go under yellow, so I think 42-ish laps from that would be about 77, so maybe 15 laps away from splitting it evenly. But
so wait, we restarted with 77 to go?
Just about 84, 85 to go.
The average last caution here at Homestead-Miami Speedway in the Area Truck Series was with 77 laps to go. And we ran this in Season 1, Season 2, and Season 4. And in Season 2 and Season 4, the last yellow was with over 100 to go.
And last season, this was a night race last season, so maybe that contributes to maybe maybe a few more yellows than what we usually have, because it's just a lot more slick. Not a title race, so not a lot of pressure for everyone, for certain others. But we pit with about 85 to go under yellow, so I think lap 70 to lap 80 is when you're going to see that window. Really, 70 to 85 is when that window is open. I wouldn't go earlier or later, much later than that. Maybe you go to 90, but that's really stretching it. Just trying to get the most out of the fresher tires at the end. I just don't think that's the way to really go about it. So I'd say lap 80 is when you want to come in.
Bronson Safford back up to 15th. Remember, he had that spin early. It was the first caution of the night at lap 13. Second caution of the lap. Oh no, that was the first, right? The Jason Dalton one wasn't a yellow early, but Stafford got good pace. Co-requisite with 8th through 10th, so he can continue to move forward, but Mason Kane denies him a spot for now.
And Mason Kane, he was at the front, but after staying out, fell back to 20th. He's gotten a few positions back. He's in a battle for about 12th now, but running 14th, has not recovered as much as I maybe thought he would. Kind of stuck behind these trucks as well. As if he could get by these two, he's got a lot of room to Colin Fambro, and then even more room to Sam Fontaine, as 71 and the 18 trucks are kind of in their own world. I say that Fontaine has caught the 88 of Anna Sogak for position. And that lead is starting to grow as well. Well, it was, but Poole kind of pulled it back. He's hovering 5/6 of a second behind.
James Scioli, by the way, Connor, has pulled off.
Did he pit? Because he did pull off.
Yeah, pulled off about 10 laps ago, actually. Maybe figured not worth
the points.
No, I mean, maybe he could have gained a few more spots, but as this race is going green, once we get into green flag stops, that I feel like the chances for a yellow go down dramatically. And at that point, is it worth sticking around here for another half hour just to gain 1 or 2 spots? I'm not sure. I think he knows it's going to be a necessary win at IRP or Talladega, and that's the approach you got to take to it. You can't be conservative anymore. You got to make it, and you got to win.
Yeah, can't blame that. Can't blame that line of thinking at all. As Jim Shanewolf pits from the 23rd position, might be scheduled, but it's pretty early to my count. As Balliet, he's laps down, he pits.
He's on the same strategy as everyone else. Everyone on this racetrack is within about 2 laps of the same pit window. So there won't be any surprises as far as someone trying to sneak away on us on strategy.
I feel like if that's a true pit stop, that is definitely a stretch, I would say. But he did take 4 tires. He's coming out now, so I guess you could say he's one of the first to come in. His teammate Adam Capps also does come in, so an elite performance strategy move here.
Maybe you have the ability to save some fuel with over 50 to go, and you can lighten up the fuel load. But let's see what is in store for the rest of the front runners here. I think Jake and JT are probably going to try to stay out as long as they can, but if I'm Bryce Senesac on back, I might try an undercut or something. I think the other thing to consider, even when green flag pit stops kind of stretch the field out and you tend to get less cautions, there also is the opportunity for people to make mistakes getting onto or off of pit lane, especially with that turn down off the banking in turn 4. We've seen that create issues at all sorts of racetracks, so we're not home free. We still got a long way to go.
Yeah, usually when you mix fresh tires with two second off tires, that usually doesn't go well, but because maybe a tiny bit smaller field at this point after the attrition we've seen, plus just the amount of room you have at this track, might not cause issues. It usually hasn't in years past that I've watched races here, so definitely I think it's worth trying the risk the shortcut, because if you catch a yellow at the right time, everyone else might just take another set and you might be in a great spot and piggyback even on tires at that. So it's something we could end up seeing as well. I think a candidate for a short pit is the 88 of Anna Sogak, because he has really started to struggle. He's back to 10th, and he's about 0.4 of a second off leader Jake Matheson in times.
But doesn't that exacerbate the problem, though? I mean, you've been in this position a couple of times where, you burn up tires and you're falling through the field, but doesn't pitting before everyone just make that problem way worse the second half of the race?
I'm sure it really does, but there's almost not much else you can do. You go long in the race, you're just going to lose more time. So the only thing you can really hope for, instead of staying out long and losing more time on the long run and trying to maximize a short run window that you probably won't gain spots out of, it might just be better to short pit, make up the short run time before anyone else, and just hope to get that well-timed yellow. Because when you fall back that quickly from a top spot, it's almost not even worth it to go long and hope for a yellow.
Eric Wineland had a big moment in 1 and 2. Here comes Curhan and Senesac, battle for 5th just behind Garrett Grant, who has just had a phenomenal run today. He's been on defense more than offense, but it is, sometimes they say the best offense is a good defense. Or maybe it's the other way around.
Who knows?
Do you know what the original saying is? Is a good offense the best defense, or is the best defense a good offense?
I think it's the first one. I'm
I don't
pretty
remember
sure
what I
it's the
said
first one. The other one doesn't really...
Well, the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that's what it is. But this is one of Garrett Grant's tracks. He led his season 1 race here, really the second truck race in area history. He won it, 49 laps led in that race, so he's pretty fast. This is one of his tracks. This and Richmond are tracks where he usually does excel, and he's doing it again today. He's now staying in the 4th position, and he's actually reeling in David Weishart a little bit. That 33 is starting to fall, while the top 2 kind of stay steady 5 to 0.6 of a second apart. So we might see that 33 come early.
A couple more drivers on pit lane. Jacob Bell, Danny Ware are on pit lane at the moment, and that is just under 50 laps to go. So I think the floodgates might be starting to crack open here. Just doesn't seem like a lot of droplets are yet down through the levee here.
Well, with the drivers, some drivers a little further back pitting, it's almost like mist right now. We see some top 5 drivers come in. We're going to be seeing pouring rain and maybe a stoppage in the race.
Wow.
In that sense.
The water analogies went so far there.
Further than I ever thought they'd go, but hey, it works. But these top 2 are definitely pulling away to the point where, like, Grant, Weishart, they might have to try undercutting a little bit to get track position back. JT Poole's really the other one in a position time-wise right now where he could undercut by maybe a lap and get that spot. Everyone else might have to do it by 2 or more as these two trade paint a little bit of a shove into turn 1 from Eric Wineland, trying the Kevin Harvick move that he pulled on Jimmy Johnson at Auto Club.
Whoa, big wiggle there at the exit at 2. Had the track position down underneath the 71, but couldn't quite keep the grip under the truck to complete that pass, and he'll have to try it again. He's been working the 71 for a few laps.
And Fontaine's got the spot from Wineland for now. Still no battles. 07 kind of staying single file. Fontaine's moved up to 8th. And Lakatos is about in the 10th position at this point after some other pit stops. Good run for him through the field.
Sanasoga
Shane Wolf
and Stafford on pit lane, as you were right, one of the first to break and make their final stop.
Yeah, and we'll see if this works out for him. Like I said, I think it's really his only play to gain positioning back to get a well-timed yellow. Lakatos stays 10th, Vanbro up to 11th through the pit sequence. We'll see if we see any more. Here comes Garrett Grant from 4th. Oh, gosh. Gotta make it first.
Gets it down to pit lane speed.
Comes Vanbro from 11th. And that will be all this lap, but if a 4th place driver comes down, you almost think that might force someone's hand. Meanwhile, Jake Matheson went to the top line and started pulling JT Poole using it.
Yeah, about 2/10 quicker last time by. We're just over 40 laps to go, and with the 35-second laps, these aren't incredibly fast laps as far as lap time is concerned, but you get down to 40 to go, and I consider 30 to go to be crunch time pretty much anywhere except for a road course. And so when you're 10 laps within crunch time, that pit lane better be calling your name.
Like with normal tracks back Camping World, like 20 to go. The road course is like the Camping World
10 to
2
go.
to go, which is really like, well, it's 5 to go, I think. But really, reality, depending on how they race at the end, it really means like 30 minutes to go.
Do you really think they're going to remove the bus stop curbs at Watkins Glen like they said today?
I don't know if they mean, I don't know what they mean by that.
I understand that the turn 1 changes make sense, and I'd be in support of that, but I don't get...
Is it really going to affect the car that much?
Well, I just don't get no, so that's dumb for NASCAR, but maybe for IMSA. But they said that they're going to remove the curbs in the bus stop at the Glen, and I can't for the life of me figure out why they would do that.
Yeah,
they're not a hazard, and they keep the grass from getting torn up, and they keep the cars away from the fence. I don't know what NASCAR is trying to accomplish there. Maybe if IMSA was yelling about it, I could understand that, but they haven't had much of a problem down there.
No, because no one goes out there, really.
Well, it's just
besides NASCAR.
I just don't get motivation. But maybe Bob misspoke, and it's nothing burger, but who knows?
We'll see. We'll probably get clarity in the next few days as more front runners come down. Kerhan from 4th, Senesac right behind him.
Yeah, he woed it down with the slide there in the 09. So 40 laps to go next time by. And Matheson has just lit the afterburners up front here.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he's saving everything for a final charge before his pit stop. As JT struggling back there. He was running consistent 35.6s, and then he got back into a 5s. Now he's back into the 4s, and even ran a 35.2 2 laps ago. So he saved. When you can save that much.
JT, whoa, right ahead of David Weishart.
When you can save that much, that was really close. When you save that much and you still have so much speed, it's just such a hard combo to beat. And that's why Jake Matheson is pretty dominant this season.
Kerhan leaving the pit lane area here, and Shane Therrien's on pit road. So is 31 of Mason Kane.
Weiland just hit the wall on 1 and 2.
See if this forces Matheson's hand. No, he's going to stay on another lap.
Yeah, I don't think he really needs to yet with that pace. He's well ahead of everyone else who's on his strategy right now, who hasn't pit. He's gapped Weishart by over 2.5 seconds, 2.7. Well, you see all that craziness on front straightaway. You almost think, yeah, they might wreck. Let's not pit yet.
I was trying to find who that was. I thought I saw the 0-1 of Shane Wolf in there.
I see Fontaine in there.
Oh, Fontaine
is behind it. Wineland struggling behind it all. He's in 4th now, but 7 seconds off.
Gosh, I'm just trying to find the trucks that everyone's all mixed up right now because of the rejoining the racetrack there.
Here comes Weishart. He'll pit lap 82. And kind of leaves Matheson as far as that. Oh, that's going to be close to speed. But as far as that front pack with the top 7 trucks, Matheson's kind of the last one standing. he'll have definitely the fresher tires and probably the fastest truck to the end.
Yeah, and 35 laps here with 35-second lap times. Should still have plenty of time to make passes on those that pass him due to the undercut if they were able to make up the ground, which I do think that they will. I think that JT will come out ahead of Jake in this. As you see JT go right there. But Jake is going to have a much better tire for the end of this race.
You just don't want to get a yellow time badly. Like if he catches up to some of the drivers who will pass him and then a yellow comes out before he can pass him, now it's kind of tough because then those drivers will probably come in for the fresher tires, and it kind of forces your hand to make a different strategy call than them, because you could pit and get on even tires with them, lose your track position, or you could stay out, keep that track position in the lead, but now have older tires than everyone behind you. So if a badly timed yellow comes out, it puts him in a box, and unfortunately tire strategy has not worked out well for the 52 in recent weeks.
Eric Wineland nabs a lap lead.
So he's going to take this all the way.
It's going to be stuck up here.
As will Casey Lakatos.
No, so he's also on now the 50th lap of this run this time through. So let's keep an eye on this as well for those that pit. What was it, 15 or so laps ago? Adam Capps and Elliott. Big slide there for the 21 still.
Definitely some big slides. Looks like they're really trying to look at who's gotten ahead of the 52. Garrett Grant's got a decent gap. He was one of the early drivers come in. Then it's JT Poole, then the 88, then the 24. Shane Wolf, Fambro, I believe, maybe. So there's a number of trucks in front of the 52. David Weishart, not one of those. But should not take too long for Matheson to get through there, as still waiting on Wineland, Lakatos, Greg Mitchell, a few others, Waterworth, and Peachin. Really the top 5 still yet to pit.
Yeah, get a good look there at the laps and stint. This might actually be more informative than the time delta between trucks, so we'll keep this up for a few laps as things cycle back out. But there's 5 trucks left that have not yet made their final stop. And then that would cycle, as you mentioned, Garrett Grant to the front. JT is closing only about a 1/10 of a second a lap, but that might change here as the top 2 laps wear on.
Oh, Wineland almost hit the barrels. That was a really tight entrance. Lakatos follows him in. Peachin from 5th. That carries the lead to Mitchell and Waterworth.
52 laps completed there. So that was just about what Adam Capps is going to end up with. So he should be all right. And that will promote Garrett Grant to the top spot once Greg Mitchell and Waterworth pit, which I'd expect them this time. This will be 53 laps on this tank. And here comes Mitchell, and I think Waterworth will follow. Yep.
Honestly,
no, he's going to stay out.
He will stay out another lap.
Open for a yellow.
I suppose so. Trying to make sure, Garrett Grant to take 4 tires. He just has a bigger gap to everyone else. He's really, no one behind him is really faster than him as well. He just got a really big gap out of this. Just kind of surprising that he's not losing more, because he did pit a little bit earlier than the guys behind.
Anywhere, and Sogak. Justin moving forward on Danny, who pitted a couple laps prior. So Gary Waterworth, is he out of fuel?
He stretched that thing big time. I think he is sputtering.
So 54 laps and a sputter is what you get out of that. So Garrett Grant cycles to the lead with just over 30 laps to go, and I'll make that a 3.4 second advantage over JT Poole. Caution now would be great for Garrett.
I wonder if that's happened. I wonder if that happened to Scioli, because he did quit at 54 laps, so maybe ran out at a bad spot and then parked it. Either way, 12 does make it to his box, but will lose time out of this. Now the 5 has about a 3.5 second lead. It's going to come down a little bit compared to the 26, but that 52 last time by was about 0.6 of a second faster than Garrett Grant, and he's about 6 seconds behind at this point, so do the math. That gap won't last too much longer.
No, and 30 laps here is over 15 minutes, and when you're gaining 0.6 of a second every half a minute, it's gonna math will work out in the 52's favor.
Unless we get that yellow, but really spread out at this point. Now everyone on fresher rubber, and more spread out than we already really were. There's a battle for 17th. That's Adam Capps and Ryan Swan. Capps is in the wall. Never mind that battle. Keeps it straight though. Looks like Balliette's in. Laps down. Doesn't matter.
So Garrett Grant is holding this lead for longer than I thought he would. And so when you get an overcut, or I guess an undercut, that gives you that big of a lead for this long, had we gotten that yellow flag, he would have looked like a genius. But I just, still got a couple laps where I think he's got an opportunity. But this obviously won't play on the long run, but this is a little bit of an investment in some short-term chaos, maybe helping you out.
If he can get second out of this, I don't think he'll win this race if it goes green, but with the way the times are looking right now, he could very well keep a runner-up spot at this rate.
The only driver that has a significant tire advantage over him is Jake Matheson. I mean, there's 3-4 laps here and there, but that's not enough to run him down from 10 seconds back.
No. As you say there, that Poole and Curran work 2 tons faster, but they got to do that consistently to make sure they can get there.
Matheson has just been unstoppable this season. And think a season ago, James Scioli was lighting the fires in every series he was in, but it's been Matheson this season that has been the most impressive across all of Aria's ranks.
Yeah, he's not even running all 3.
Right.
Not in the Pro Series. Said he might run races, we'll see. But
he's got more wins than everybody anyway, doesn't he? Combined?
I would think so. Nichols has 2 across 3 series.
I guess Scioli's got a handful.
Scioli does have a lot in the Pro.
Yeah.
But I think Matheson, he's got 3 or 4 in Cup now, and this would be his 4th in trucks, so I think he would still have it. We'll do the math sometime else.
On the season, Matheson. So this would be his 4th if he were able to bring it home. He won back at Kentucky, and then at both the Charlotte Roval and the Charlotte Oval. Weishart moving by 49 of Danny Ware, and Colin Fambrough should follow him through in the Valvoline Chevy.
Once again, it's still the scary part that he could have won more races. He had Michigan pretty much in the bag, late race yellow, tire strategy, and then a crash doesn't work out in his favor. Took him from that win, took him out of contention for that completely. I believe he was fast at Atlanta, was not able to stay in the running for that. Also Vegas, had contact with Scioli, was not in contention on that green-white checkered for that win. And then Darlington, nothing happened with Darlington, but got flat out ran by John Hall. John Hall is not here tonight, so doesn't have to worry about that.
And he's now running about a half a second faster than Garrett Grant. He's 3 seconds back. So do the math on that. That's about 6 to 12 laps. Throw some tire degradation in there, and he'll be there before lap 105.
Best thing you can hope for is that Curhan and JT Poole maybe slow up. It prolong the inevitable, and not really just to slow up Jake Matheson, but really just to slow up themselves trying to battle the 52. I don't know if Curhan's really going to be willing to battle the 52, and nor JT Poole might, but probably not that much. As Poole is now within 1.4.
Bryce Senesac down to the inside of Danny Ware, drops the 49 to 10th. Senesac kind of recovering here. One of the drivers that was a bit later in the pit sequence, but not at the very tail end. So he's got better tires than about half the drivers ahead of him, but only by 2 or 3 laps.
David Weishart's trying to recover as well. He stayed out the longest, was really falling off the end of that long run. He's back up to 6th, past the 8.8 of Just Anasogak, who did the shortcut. Just about to be in a battle with Shane Therian for that top 5 position. Well, Jake Matheson has caught the back of Michael Curran. Yeah,
so the problem with Weishart is he wasn't able to overcut Jake enough to find any significant advantage over him. So while he's running quicker or similar lap times to the 52, he doesn't have any ability to run the 52 down. And so there's a 2.7 second gap between those 2 trucks, and it will likely stay that or maybe grow.
Meanwhile, it might not be Garrett Grant who Matheson passes for the lead. It could be JT Poole, because last time by, the 5 trucks' times are falling off. Poole is half a second faster than the 5 of Garrett Grant now. So it might be JT Poole who has to wrestle the 52 for the lead. Close to 20 to go here.
And the difference between Jake and JT's tires is only 3 laps. So it's not as significant as what Garrett's having to contend with, as Jake clears Michael Curhan for 3rd. So if they were to somehow get in a bit of a scramble for this top spot, maybe they could burn everybody's stuff up so they're all kind of equal. It's not that big of a difference between JT and Jake.
Yeah, well, by the way, just quick note, Travis Beckler did get that truck back on track. I could not tell you how, because that right front is still pointing the outside wall.
Nothing for him really to gain.
But he he'll gain spots.
I guess he will.
He'll pass about 3 trucks. Yeah. He'll pass Scioli, which maybe that's what he cares about. But either way, he'll get some spots.
Time's up for Garrett Grant. He did a nice job, but strategy wasn't going to last forever.
He's got to make this pass as quickly as possible, too, if he wants any realistic chance of beating the 52. He leads that lap, but that gap came down pretty quickly, having to get pinched by the 5. It's already 1 second. He's got to hope Matheson gets held up as much as possible.
You could see the distance close between the 2 trucks in the middle of the corner there, just because they were running side by side, and Jake had the whole track to himself. Be 20 laps to go next time by.
Matheson still only a 10th faster, which is at least some saving grace for the 26 truck as he takes the lead, gets the clean air, and tries to run in the next 20 laps as best he can. And he is wiggling off the corner. He's trying to go, but he doesn't have the tire to really get away.
20 laps left in this race, and Garrett Grant's the next on the chopping block for the 52 of Jake Matheson, who's going to run up to the high side here. This is a line that's been successful for a lot of drivers tonight. Jake's going to use it towards the end here to build a run on the 5.
You would think once the 52's in striking range, you would think JT's almost got to defend that top line, because if you give Jake Matheson the high line and you take the bottom, he'll get a huge run on you and it'll be game over. You got to at least match him and try to see what line he's running and try to defend that best as possible. If you give him an open run on the top side, you will not be able to defend it on corner exit.
Jake Matheson takes 2nd place away from Garrett Grant. 19 laps to go, and the counter starts counting down. And gained 2/10 on JT in turns 1 and 2 alone. JT's right up against the outside wall and in the fence there a bit.
He's trying, no lack of that, but losing fight at this point, I would say. Just trying to look at some other drivers battling. Eric Wineland, actually Bronson Stafford hit the wall. He was battling Wineland, but the 21 got by him. 61 loses track position from that. And this battle comes closer.
Yeah, JT's going to have to fiercely defend this. And
gotta hope we're yellow is what he's got to do.
And JT's winless this season. Jake has 3. So JT knows that he can use up the 52 a bit, but at the expense of maybe a relationship that he would need come playoff time to be healthier. You know, do you want to create your enemies now and get that win, or do you want to maybe try to go at it next week or at Talladega?
He's IRP first, and he won there last season, so that helps him. He's about 20 points behind the cut line coming in tonight, and that was Ryan Swan he had to battle with. So it's going to be a pretty big points gain on that cut line, even if he doesn't win, because Ryan Swan back in 22nd position, and really no one else near JT Poole on that cut line is going to be gaining a lot. So even without a win, this is a big night for the 26. But he's going to battle for this as much as he can. He'll get the run off the top, but I just think Matheson's got enough tire to the point he can just fire it into 3 at will and take this lead here.
Yeah, I don't know that JT's got a lot.
He's going to pinch him.
He's going to give it a try, but it might be a losing battle. See him slide up the track there in 3 and 4, and Jake should be able to complete this, but what does JT do in response down here at 1 and 2?
The only thing he can do is really hang on the door and try to force him to make a mistake. I don't think he can do that. He'll have tire through center, and Jake Matheson will now be gone with 16 to go.
Yeah, and he's got the best tires of anybody down to 11th place in Wineland. So JT just gave him the wave on the camera, and now they're going to deal with Adam Capps, put him another lap down, or just 1 lap down, rather.
Looks towards the bumper. Won't be able to get to it. Now at this point, it's just maintain 2nd place. His only real battle for that position should probably be Michael Curran. I don't think David Weishart will come into play in time, as Curran's got to get through Garrett Grant first. That battle's actually going to be closer than the one between the 5 and the 26 was, as looked like Capps might have gotten the wall, or just let them by. Couldn't tell.
I think Capps did get the fence there that time. Here's Curran working over Grant for 3rd. As the laps wind down here at Homestead, and so does the regular season. Just 2 races remaining after this. IRP next week and Talladega in 2 weeks' time, before we tidy up the season with 5 rounds in the playoffs.
I can't believe that Beckner's right front's even rolling at that angle. That really does not make sense. It's not fast either.
Pretty torn up.
You go head on into a wall like that, that's kind of what you expect. There's still battles near the back. Drivers on the fresher tires still trying to get to the front. At least Lakatos just got 15th from Mason King, or 14th rather. He's looking at 13th against Tom Bourne.
He's actually had a pretty good run here, this tail end, playing the strategy he's doing. And I'm not sure it's going to be top 10 worthy, but it'll get you up 13th or 12th, easy.
Ooh, slide there, just trying to fight to the inside of Tom Bourne, which he will. Might end up in a top 10 for Wineland. Gosh, it's about as dead as the 28 truck. It sounded like it at least. But
I muted myself on OBS, but I coughed right in the counters here.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore.
Yeah, I would mute it on Discord too, but then you'd lose your sound for a second.
Yeah. I'd be scared something happened to my PC. But
exactly,
I was going to say is Wineland's going to get a top 10 out of this. Just a little faster than the 50 this run, and Colin Farrenberg won't have anything to deal with. He could get up to maybe 8th place, actually, because Justin Sogak is falling off. He's not too much further up from the 21. His next time by will be 11 to go.
Curran trying the top lane again. This has been a pretty successful path. That 5 truck just off the windshield here, and Curran's going to build this run and probably take it to the bottom here.
We'll see if he tries to slide up in front of the 5 because Grant's been pinching everyone down tonight.
Not enough tire left to do it.
And he's going to try to get the run back and get overlap back. Curran just going to... Curran didn't really take it from him, but Grant kind of tried to undercut him, get the crossover, but not willing to do so. I think he knows this is a losing battle, but looked back inside, but I think Curran has his 3rd position.
Garrett was running 4th or 5th prior to the whole pit stop thing anyway, so this is still kind of where he was running. And I don't think he'll be disappointed with a P4.
I don't think so either. He's had a great run. Really great run this for compared to what his season's been. He's 21st in points, so at least get him inside that should get him inside a top 20 cut line just in case he does win one of the next 2 races, but he's only had 1 top 10 all season. That was back at Milwaukee. His next best finish besides that, 12th, 13th, and then 18th. Rough season for him so far. This is actually the first race of the season he's led laps in, so it's been a rough season for the former Homestead winner, but it's going to be some momentum to get in the last 2 races.
10 laps to go. Jake Matheson extends the lead to about a second as Weishart and Therian go at it. Weishart 2 laps fresher tires.
He'll be maybe a little disappointed because it almost seemed like he was the guy to beat. When the 52 got by him, it started to really fall off.
Mason Kane and Danny Ware trading spots here for 14th. With the 31 up and the 49 down. 8 lap holder tires on the 49, and now he's got 38 laps on that tank of fuel as well.
Should be able to go to the end though.
Oh,
don't think he'll have an issue. Got passed back by Therian.
Yeah, that was a big lunge there for the 38 and was able to complete it and push the 33 back a little bit. And David's got fresher tires, as we pointed out, so to lose a spot, he must have had a mistake. So let's go back and have a look. About a lap
He
ago.
gave Therian the top in 3 and 4. I saw that, but not think Therian to be able to clear him back.
Yeah, see the 33's got the advantage here. Big slip right there. Wow. Look at the hands at work.
I wonder if going across that seam had anything to do with that. It's almost like right when he crossed that seam, it just broke loose.
Yeah.
But he might not get that spot back. Therian pulls away.
Yeah, drove it in there with a ton of throttle.
And Bryce Senesac, I think, has even fresher tires, so he might have a shot at 6th.
He's about 3 laps older than Weishart as far as tires are concerned, but not that far back.
Weiland got by Anna Sogak, who's drifted back to 10th. Now he's about to have a battle with Sam Fontaine for that position.
Sam Fontaine, what a night for him in the 71. He said he's just been running in the top 10 all night, showing his strength. If he could run like this every week, and he has begun to, maybe not a front-running playoff contender, but absolutely he could steal a win if circumstances changed around and he could play some aggressive strategy. It just seems like, early in the race, Sam was pretty aggressive, but he doesn't strike me as someone that is up on the wheel. He seems to drive pretty conservatively, and maybe if you get those elbows out a bit, he might be one to contend with later in the season.
And he's qualified really well, and that's kind of helping him. If you have the track position at the beginning, you don't have to work as hard to get it in the middle of the race. He's had 4 top 10 starts this season.
It also just means you're fast when you qualify well. You've got speed if you can qualify top 10.
There have been times when it just hasn't worked out for him, even though he's qualified that well. He's a little off the cut line, but qualified 2nd at Kentucky, finished 11th. 6th at Milwaukee, finished 24th. 6th at the Charlotte Oval, back at 32nd. Really, when he's qualified well, it hasn't worked out that well for him. He has 1 top 10, and it was when he started 19th at Darlington. And that race of attrition, but he's been great in qualifying this season, and it's kept him in a potential playoff fight for the time being, and this is probably his best overall run of the season for sure. Would be his best finish if he could hold on to 9th position.
Yeah, Eric Wineland goes by, slightly fresher Goodyear's on the 21. Travis Beckner just passed James Scioli. And
Waterworth
Fontaine right back to the bottom on the 21.
I'm not going to give up. No reason not to. 5 laps to go. Jacob Bell and Gary Waterworth are battling for the 19th position. Ooh, boy. Mason Kane, Greg Mitchell for 14th as well. Ooh, Mason Kane slides. Mitchell gets that spot in the background as Mitchell had damage really from the beginning. It's been tough to recover from.
He was one of the other trucks involved in that issue at the beginning with the
backstretch.
Yeah.
Nowicki.
Yeah, I was trying to finally came to me there just talking about it. Here's Senesac and Weishart trading positions. Gives Senesac 6th.
This is really odd. Weishart has some of the freshest tires, but he's completely used them up. He fell off at the end of last run, but this is a lot more than I thought it would be, as he's going to go all the way back to 7th.
Yeah, he's got the same tires as Jake Matheson, effectively, yet his last lap was half a second slower. That's a big difference.
Just shows how, how much different tire saving, whatever the word is, how different two drivers' tires save. Matheson's done it flawlessly where he's fast. The 33 is good short run, but he can't maintain that tire health.
Casey Licata's looking for a top 10 here. If he can get by Justin Sogak, he's going to run out of time soon as the white flag is looming.
He hit the wall. The 15's going to be able to clear. Sogak put over the radio. You get back here. He wants that spot. Another one who's had a rough season is the 50 of Licata's. No finish is better than 19th. Well, that was all the way back at Daytona.
Going to fix that tonight if he can just finish another lap and a half here. Jake Matheson way high in 3 and 4. It has just been a spanking so far this season in a couple of different series, this one included. White flag, 1 lap to go here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and I mentioned vacationing earlier in the broadcast right at the top of the show. And Jake Matheson could kick up on the beach with the points advantage he is going to have heading into the playoffs. It's just been an exceptional season. 3 wins so far. 2 came at Charlotte in the Roval and Oval races that were back-to-back. The other came at Kentucky in race number 3. But the 10th race of the season is going to go to Jake Matheson. After leading 52 laps en route to victory, Jake Matheson gets it done at Homestead-Miami.
Another dominant one for him. 52 and 26, top 2. Curran, Grant, Theory in the top 5. Senesac, Weishart, Weiland, Fontaine, and then Licata's does get 10th from Anna Sogak. So good run to the end. Like we talked about, accustomed to seeing green flag runs as James Shainwolf comes across the line slowly. I think he did run out of fuel. He was one of the earlier drivers to pit. But once again, another long run in this race as everyone gives congratulations to a dominant Jake Matheson.
Yeah, nice green flag race tonight. Only 2 yellows, both early. Continues the trend of having really long green flag races here. Lots of strategy. Whoa, the 50 doing a celebratory slide there as well. Look at that.
He's happy to get some luck to go his way.
Throwing a little grid life drift at us there with grid life on the quarter panel.
Oh, at the pit wall.
Whoa.
No. He's just happy to get that finish. As Matheson, he's going to make sure clear stack as well.
That was fun.
Hey, he might not have hit it, actually.
No, I don't think he did. That was well executed.
Everyone's happy with their finish. I think everyone's happy that it went green. Grant's doing burnouts. No one happier than that 52.
And the pace is slow, so this race was fairly long. I think everyone just, without a lot of yellows, didn't get a lot of breaks. Now they can celebrate. But Matheson, JT, and Michael will talk to here shortly. And Jake will slide to a halt on the well, he's going to go do the road course for a bit, I think. Let's have a look at our race results before we talk to your winners and sign off for the night. Jake Matheson wins here at Homestead-Miami. 52 laps led, Connor. He just put on a clinic tonight.
52 led 52. Who would have seen that coming? Definitely looked like the 33 had the pace at the very beginning, but once Jake Matheson took that lead, and once we got a really long run to the end, he flexed his muscle and was 10th a lap faster than everyone else, and there was really no contest near the end. Good finishes for a lot of drivers. Garrett Grant 4th, that's great for him. Senesac, Eric Weiland to 8th, Fontaine and Licata's. Really some feel-good nights for a lot of drivers who probably needed them badly tonight.
Yeah, really good results there, especially for Lakatos to snap that 19th or worse finishing streak since Daytona, so that'll put him in the right direction for subsequent weeks. Let's head on down to the rest of the order here. Justin Enesogak, Colin Fambro, Tom Bourne, and Greg Mitchell in 14, all the way down to 14th. Mason Kane ended up 15th tonight, but I think the surprises and the unfortunate ones came in the form of James Scioli not making the start of the race, ending out early, and then of course Travis Beckner with that big crash, and that put him 62 laps down and finishes 25th.
And Brad Slaughter Jr. in 29th, the internet just not cooperating with him, relegates him down the order. Thankfully for him and Travis Beckner, they have wins to fall back on this season. That's 7 of Scioli, not the case. We go into the last 2 weeks of the regular season at IRP in Talladega with him just barely inside the top 20 and about, I would say, 40-ish points behind that cut line. It's almost certain we'll need a win from him in the next 2 weeks.
Well, Michael Curhan started this race in 5th, ends up in 3rd, a podium and a top 5 for you, Michael. Congratulations. A nice green flag run tonight. Almost flag to flag, only 2 early yellows. So a lot of it came down to strategy, when to pit. You pit a little bit before the guys ahead of you did there at the tail end, but had good pace. And I'm sure this will be a great points night for you here as we trudge towards the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Another strong finish for the 24. I'll take it. It's good. I was curious how the pit strategy was going to play out. Honestly, I'm surprised I didn't see the couple guys that I was racing with right before the pits. I didn't see them again, so I don't know if I got quicker or if they had issues. But yeah, P3. It's a real strong finish. I'll take it.
Yeah, great night for you. Of course, we saw tons and tons of tire wear, very different from last night, where the tires just got worse. They didn't get slower. Tonight, over 2 seconds of fall off. How tricky is that to manage, especially with the temperature changing so much and the racing lines changing over the course of the race?
Yeah, great point. Yeah, it was. Do you save your tires early and try to pass people later, or vice versa? Do you go hard to start with and then pay the price later? It was definitely a strategy and a balancing act on should you save your tires or not. So it was a huge factor tonight. I think I left a little bit on the table there on that last run to use up the rest of my tires. I was trying to save as long as I could. And I was starting to catch JT there at the end, but ran out of laps. I didn't time it out right. So it was definitely a big factor for sure.
Well, Michael, congratulations. P3 night, the number 24, Ford F-150. Congratulations, and we'll see you at IRP next week.
Thanks, Kyle. I'd like to thank Physicus Motorsports, NAI, Leo Bram, Fame Construction, and Flash Picks, and all the teammates at Physicus Motorsports for their help.
Absolutely, Michael. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kyle.
And second place tonight was JT Poole, giving it his all to defend from Jake Matheson there at the end. JT, you weren't quite able to hold him off, but you gave it your best effort, led a couple laps there towards the end, and just weren't quite able to steal it. You gave him everything you could have, and you tried to get down to his bumper there and then waved goodbye as he drove away. So we had fun watching that. But take me through your night in that battle there at the end.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't quicker than him. That first long run we had, we were pretty even. I think I may have been a little quicker. And then we both plateaued in like the 6/10 range. And we were pretty even, but I pedaled off the corner one time and I kind of toasted my rears, and I was probably 10 degrees warmer than he was. And he checked out, so I pitted early. We were pretty aggressive on pit road. I don't know how he didn't speed. We gained a lot of time on him, but he obviously got back to us, and we finished second for the 7th time in our area career. So sucks losing. Wish we could win, but good points day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly helped that Ryan Swan didn't have a great day as you close in on that cut line for the playoffs. But do you feel like you need to win at IRP or Talladega? How desperate are you going to get these next 2 weeks if you can't get one done?
I'm not going to be upset if I make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs. I just like winning. I try winning every week, so I'm kind of desperate every week. I do feel really confident at IRP, though. We won there last year. Kicked butt last year. And then we've always been pretty good at the plate tracks, so I'm pretty confident. In the first round of playoffs is Bristol. We're good at the short tracks, so we're just trying to put our way in. If we don't make it, whatever. We just like winning. I don't really care about championships because those are hard to come by. But yeah.
Does he get half a fine for saying half the word, or no?
I
fine
only
'cause he
said
didn't
I only
complete
said
it?
I only bought the vowel. I didn't put any contents down.
Okay, so what is that, 33% of a fine?
We don't issue fines here at SimTV, but maybe we should start. Might be lucrative if we check in after some frustrating nights. But JT, thanks for chatting. Congratulations.
I can't afford that.
No, you definitely can't. Congratulations on a strong night, and we'll see you at IRP next week.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully I'm in here again. I kind of miss this. We've been running so bad recently. Like, well, we run good, and then we'll get wrecked. I miss being in the interview booth with you guys. It's like rewarding, and I miss it.
That's why we don't interview everybody. It's a reward for having a good night. So
I know, and
it.
you get to talk to Kyle Heyer and Connor Horn. There's like no better feeling.
Oh,
Mostly Kyle, 85% of the time. Sometimes Finian. Too.
It's always fun. But JT, thanks for checking in. Thanks for stopping by, and congrats on a P2. We'll see you next week, hopefully again.
Yep, thank y'all.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, I was making the comment, it's kind of like the Jimmy Johnson effect. You start to see a guy a whole lot, and then everyone starts rooting against him. Jake, tonight you win your 4th race of the season here in the Truck Series. It's starting to look a lot like the Cup side as well, which is all good. But I had someone comment that, okay, Matheson again. Sleepy face, but then they had a giggle about it. But I said it's like the Jimmy Johnson effect. The guy keeps winning, and all of a sudden, nobody likes you. But you're on top of the world right now.
Hey, I mean, the way I see it, someone's got to wear the black hat, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, really good race. Finally got a really long green flag run there. I was so happy to see that. Unfortunately for Travis, I think he died. I think he got med flighted, so couldn't experience that long run. But yeah, JT and David, they really kept me on my toes for the first part of that run. And like I said, just happy it went green. I knew if it went green, I'd have some good tires by the end of it. So yeah, just another good race.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now your 4th win of the season, more than anybody else in the series. Is your focus already shifted to those playoff races, and how are you preparing for those playoffs? It's pretty rapid fire, and we visit a bunch of different tracks, so it's a different animal than what we're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The playoffs, obviously, a little more, it brings a little more excitement. It brings a little more disparity to anyone who's, either on the bubble or fighting for a spot in the next round. So, got to be on your A game for the playoffs, no matter who you're racing. So, I'm real excited for it. It's going to be real good.
Well, truck number 52 led 52 laps tonight, Jake. I think that's fitting. So, congratulations on that, and we'll see you next week at IRP.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Just real quick before I go, I want to thank Calusa Pines, Celsius, Area Shop, Alien Gear, Huckett Films, and Miller Racing for everything they do. And here we're at Indy next week, so that should be good. We'll see you guys then.
Should be good. Thanks, Jake, and congrats.
Thank you.
All right, wrapping things up here from Homestead-Miami Speedway. Always a good race here. It's been fun this week. I think we're all enjoying seeing multiple groups pan out and things here tonight in the Factor 180. But we've still got one more race this week on this racetrack. That's the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series on Thursday, Connor. And I think it's going to look a lot more like this race than it did Mondays.
I would think so for sure. We have the horsepower back, but we're going to have a lot less downforce than what we had tonight, as it's going to be another Factor-sponsored race. I was actually looking at recipes. I see the shredded chicken, loaded mashed potatoes. That's got my eye, but I'm sure I'll look at another recipe to bring up Thursday. But either way, good race tonight. It's kind of weird how we saw more fall off than we did in the Cup cars, but we had, I think, probably a decent bit of downforce, but we still had low power, which probably made it maybe a little bit harder to get the power down for some reason still. Just an overall slower race, even though it was a shorter race, but either way, it was still dominated by the 52. Jake Matheson, he's been dominant in all 2 series he's been a part of. We won't see him Thursday night, so we could see another different winner, but Matheson swept his part of the Miami track. Unfortunate for him, not the finale this season. We have to wait till Chicagoland for that, but definitely the guy to beat in Cup and Truck.
Yeah, those Factor meals might go real well with some Rick's Hot Sauce. Race fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver takes home that $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the points standings. We'll see you Thursday for the Florida State Builders Area Pro Series right here from Homestead-Miami Speedway. I'm Kyle Heyer with Connor Horn. We'll see you then.